Today I'm excited to talk about something that doesn't always get enough love, the onboarding process. So, hiring is not just, it's just the beginning. It's not just the first day. It's not the first week. It is a process. So this is what's going to really make or break the experience for your new team member, right? We want to make sure it's not just a checklist, but it's going to be a game changer, right? We want to make sure that they are impressed with us, that they are excited to come on board and be a part of our team. So we're going to talk about what a structured onboarding process looks like for new hires to really jump into our culture quickly. And that's going to engage them from day one. And this is going to help keep them motivated and keep the process moving smoothly and effectively. And plus, I'm going to throw in a few things in there about how to audit this process so that we can maintain the results and it stays effective. Okay, let's jump right in. We want to talk about first why it's important. Why should you have a structured onboarding process? I see this day after day after day with my med spas, right? They come in, they're like, oh, I've hired somebody, she starts tomorrow. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? There's so many things that we need to do to prepare our team members to set them up for success. So this is a way for you to make a powerful first impression. We've all been there, and if we haven't been there, maybe we were this person, but I know that I've shown up to start a new position and I don't even have a computer. Right? I don't even know the names of the HR. I haven't given them my ACH. I don't even know how I'm going to get paid. Right? It's just like you're like, what is happening? When you walk into a position and you've already done your pre-30 and you have your phases and you know how your first day is going to be structured, you have that confidence to really come in and be that rock star employee that you want to be. So we want to take a chance and look at this and keep talent by boosting productivity, by having a system that is clear and effective, essentially. All right, so we want to, I always say that it's like when you read it, you kind of skip through the first chapter of the book, or you don't really connect with that book right then. And now you're in chapter 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and you're trying to piece all the puzzle pieces together because you didn't really get chapter 1. So what this is your chapter 1. This is going to set your team up and your team member up to jump right in and get moving on what you need from them, why you hire them. So a good onboarding program will do these things. They will drive engagement and growth by igniting the employee's enthusiasm. Right? When you start a new job, there's that feeling, right? You're so excited. I know it. I've seen it with the people that we onboard, people that we hire, whether it's in Diamond or in any of the med spas that we work with. There's that enthusiasm. You want to capture that. You want to make sure that you squeeze all the juice out of that enthusiasm for that employee as they come in. And setting up a structure and a system to give them that opportunity is exactly how you do that. We also want to build a strong foundation from the beginning. Right? You want to make sure that your provider understands who you are, your processes, what the goal is for them, what their expectations are. They have their foundation to build on so they can come in, they can roll up their sleeves, and they can get in there with you. All right. The next thing is setting those clear goals and expectations from day one. So they're going to know before they even walk in on their first day what the next 90 days is going to look like. We've set this up with our clients. We work with our consulting clients daily in building out their onboarding process. So without structure, you risk losing momentum. You risk potentially like losing great people because it's just not what they expected. That's not what they want. Because I'm telling you, if I show up and I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a rock star for you. I am going to run. But I can't do that if I don't know how or what or when or where. So the keys to the employee life cycle are going to be 3. We're going to work through this structure in a couple different ways, right? We want it to be more than just the first week. A lot of times I have some med spas that they're like, okay, so after the first week, she should be good to go. He should be good to go. No, that's not the case if you're structuring it properly so that they are able to really complete all of their training effectively to be useful, like to do what you need them to do. It's a journey. It's not 1 week. So let's break down the recruitment process all the way to onboarding. So with recruitment, one of the things that the way that I start, it's a get to know you, right? The very first interview that I'm going to do for you or my med spas that I work with is I get to know the provider. I get to know the team member. Are you a good fit? Does it feel good? Like, I want to know about you. I want to know about your goals. I want to know about where you're coming from, where you want to go. These are things that are on that first discovery call, as well as I'm going to tell you all about me, my med spa, my client, whatever it is that I'm working for to get the right fit, because we definitely don't want to just put butts in the seats. We want to find the right person. We want to find someone who is going to help us reach our goals, who is running with us. So that's my first interview. Second interview, I love. This is where we dive in. And this is where we really get into it and we kind of look at it and we say, what do you need? We get into compensation, we get into benefits, we look at before and afters, we look at their work before, we examine a test project that we gave them. We really look at how they would do performing in this position. And then if they pass that journey, then the next journey, we look at how they do in office, right? We want to meet them face to face. We want to do a shadow day. We want our team to meet them. Now, sometimes that backfires, right? Because I've worked with teams who we've had that team meeting, we've had them shadow, and then all the, what they're really being brought on for is because we need some team structure, we need some accountability, and then all the team members go, well, we like her, so then I hire her because she is going to do what I need her to do, because they know they're going to be able to get away with things with this one. So sometimes it really is good. It's a good opportunity to get feedback from your team members, but also to see what's really going to work and fit in your med spa. Now, we've hired someone, we've decided what they do, they've signed their offer letter. What happens now? So pre-onboarding, right? Before day one, you want to send that welcome email. I'm going to break that down for you a little later, but we want to send that welcome email with all of the information they need, right? We want to include preparing them for their first day. What do they need? Any resources that they need. It's going to have packet and information about your med spa, about their job duties, and what their first day looks like, whether that's digital or we're setting up a time to have them come in, meet with you, and collect their onboarding packet. Next, we're going to do an introduction to the team, right? We're going to say, hey, everybody, meet Abby. This is your new spa manager. Abby comes from here. Abby has done this, and this. She's super excited. Please welcome Abby. Abby starts on this day, right? We want to make sure that the team is on board and that this new team member is being set up for success and feels really comfortable coming in and being a team member in your med spa. Next, you want to make sure that you have your onboarding phases and checklists created. We create this with our clients, but you want to make sure it's a clear understanding of here's what we need from you, here's what our expectation is going to be of you, and here's the training that we're going to give you. All right. So these are all things pre-30, pre-onboarding that first day. Then we're going to ramp up productivity. We're going to guide them through their initial assignments. We're going to make sure that we're following them with our clear expectations, and we're going to be constantly providing them with feedback, making sure that they are not surprised, because we're doing our check-ins. We're going to talk about audits in a minute, but when those moments come, there's no surprises. They know exactly what they need to do in order to be successful at their job. Because I always say this, like, you want to encourage growth and development. You want to make sure that they understand the continuous learning loop that you have in your med spa, because I always hire lifelong employees, right? That's my goal. I don't hire to fill a seat. I hire lifelong employees. So I am never going to fire you for anything but disrespect, bad attitudes, laziness, unless we've just invested everything in you that we can, and it's just not a good fit. Right? So I'm going to make sure that you understand the pathway to growth and that you have what you need. So you want to make sure that you're constantly giving that feedback. So looking at this, how do you know if your onboarding process, once you develop it, is successful? What does it look like? What do you need in order to have a really successful team member that just is a rock star for you? The first thing is connection. You want to make sure that you're not only connecting with the employee, but the employee is emotionally connecting, building strong relationship with their supervisors, their managers, their leads. So we want to have connection, and we want to make sure that they feel supported. Secondly is commitment. We want them to feel that we are committed to their success, but we also want to feel that they're committed to us, right? That our baby is their baby. We want to make sure that they feel that. Lastly is contribution. You want to make sure that they feel independently free to contribute from day one. And the way that you do that is by setting up a process so that they understand exactly who you are before they ever walk through that front door, and they know the direction that you want to go. All of these three things, connection, commitment, contribution, are going to contribute to the progress of your growth. And growth in med spas can look so many different ways, right? It's not just revenue, even though most of us are chasing that revenue goal. We're chasing those dollar signs, that monthly goal, that yearly goal. But maybe it's utilization. Our providers overutilize, so we need someone to fill that, because, you know, if we can't get people in for 2 to 3 weeks, we're losing money. Maybe it's time because you're wearing all of the hats. Maybe you're hiring a consultant to help you to like develop your systems. Whatever that looks like, we want to make progress, and you make progress through those three things, right? We make it through connection, commitment, and contribution. So we want to keep eyes on the signs. We want to make sure that if we don't feel these things, that we're tweaking, we're in that constant feedback loop, and we're making sure that we're reevaluating the progress regularly. Now, the biggest thing, and I always give attribution to this to my kids, because they do this to me all the time. I tell them to do something, and then they just don't do it, right? Whose fault is that? Is that mine or is it theirs? It's mine, because I didn't show them the pathway to get there. I told them I wanted them to do something, but I didn't give them a pathway, right? So I'm telling them how to do it. I'm telling them when I want it done, and I'm giving them the tools to make sure that they're able to complete that. It's no different with new employees. We want to tell them what's expected. We want to show them the pathway, and then we want to hold them accountable. And we do that by auditing, regular audits. So here's a few quick things that that you need to be doing with new employees, new team members, new providers. I like a 30, 60, 90-day audit where you're meeting with them. We're talking, how are things going? We're getting feedback. We're making sure that if there's something, we're following our checklist. If we're behind, if we're ahead, that we're making sure that everything is checked off and we're mastering all of these new duties that we're expecting them to do. We want to do regular check-ins with their supervisors, their leads. You want to be meeting with their supervisor and lead if you're not their lead. How are they doing? What does that look like, right? We want to gauge whether they feel connected, right? How are they feeling? Ask them, are there any gaps in our training or resources? Because as you begin to build this out from the very beginning, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to just flow the way you wanted it to. It's a learning process, and it's going to continue to evolve as you evolve as a med spa. But once we have the template built out for your HR for one position, now we have the guts and the bones for the next position, right? And we can just tweak it a little bit, and now we're ready to go for that next, you know, our front desk lead or our patient coordinator or our new esthetician. So it will, as we adjust and grow, it's going to run like a like a really well-oiled machine. So here's my checklist, my little cheat sheet for things that you should be doing before day one, up until onboarding into your 90-day phase and after. So the first thing, we talked about sending that welcome email. That's going to have their start time, their dress code, the parking info, right? How to get in the building. I had one job where it was like around the back and up the stairs, and I couldn't find it, and then I was late. And if anyone knows me, I don't like to be late. I like to come in and make a great first impression. So make sure you set them up for success in that welcome email with the general information, as well as their welcome packet if it's digital, or the time to come and pick their welcome packet up. Now, I keep talking about this onboarding welcome packet. What does that look like? You should have your handbook. You should have all of your policies. You should have your patient journey. You should have your org chart, your contact details. You know, what are their login? What is the login information for your CRM or your EMR or any of your software that's needed? It should have everything, your vision, mission, values. Gosh, don't forget that one. Vision, mission, values. Who are we? We want to make sure that they know who we are and what is expected from day one. Now, also in that packet, you're going to throw in your onboarding checklist, and your onboarding training program. And they are going to know exactly what is needed. We're going to make sure that they're set up on day one with their workstation or their office, and then we provide them with all the necessary platforms to be successful. We want to make sure that they understand their first assignment prior to day one so that they know what to do as soon as they get there. Okay. So now we're meeting with our team member, we're going over their first day expectations, and we're introducing them to the team. We are going to make sure they know who their supervisor is, their lead. These are all things that are super important to ensure that they can complete their job. Do they have access to all the tools that they need in order to do their daily duties? Week one, we're conducting a check-in. How are you adjusting? You know, do you have any questions? Are there any hurdles or obstacles that are standing in our way? But we also, at that point, 1 week in, They need to know who we are, right? Our unique culture, what are our goals? We really want to make sure that more than anything, they understand our culture. We also want to look at tips for maintaining this, because as we come in as this enthusiastic new employee comes in for the first couple weeks, everything is really exciting, but a lot of times we focus on that first week, and if we get through it, it falls off. And I want to encourage you to keep the energy going. Stay to the checklist, stay to the training program, follow through on every duty that you have and that you have for your team member. Encourage them with positive feedback, and then give them the training if you see that they're falling behind. We want to make sure that we're adaptable, and that we're having regular meetings. Again, those 30, 60, and 90 days. So sometimes after that 90 days, I have med spas that just decide that ultimately, it's just not working out. It's not a good fit. Or maybe they just have really not done their check-ins and they're just like, I don't know. I really want you to focus on those 30, 60, 90 days, staying on track. But once you get to 90 days, it's time to evaluate. It's time to reevaluate where we are, what we're doing. Are we on track? Can we set them free? Are they ready to fly? Or do we need to put them on a performance improvement plan? And I know that's a dirty word and it sounds scary, but it's not. I love this. I love a performance improvement plan after 90 days if we're just not there. If we didn't master a skill, or we're not able to conduct the duties on, to most efficiency, I like a performance plan. And that can be 30 to 60 days based on you. But let's really focus on these things. And I think as soon as we can get through this, it's great. Sometimes over that 30, 60, 90 days, you're just going to realize it's not a good fit. And that's okay. But with that open feedback loop and making sure that they are understanding why it's not a good fit, you can say, okay, it's not a good fit. But before you do that, I really want you to look at you. Have you trained them? Did you set them up for success? Did you give them the tools so that they can follow through? Sometimes the answer is yes. But I always, after 90 days, want you to look internally at you to see how could you do better? How could you improve your onboarding process? And if you're amazing and you're great and it's perfect, which it will never be, but then you just see it's not a good fit, well, then that's the decision you have to make too, right? Because we spend a lot of time trying to find the right person. And without the right people in your med spa, it's not going to be successful. So you want to make sure that not only are they a good fit for your spa with your culture, but they're ready to roll, but that you yourself as the manager, the lead, the owner are giving them the tools to make sure that they are able to jump in, run with you, roll up their sleeves, and have that growth and progress that you're looking for. Okay, well, all right, who's here today? Luminous Aesthetics, hello. Epic Aesthetics, hello. Jennifer Belladerma, hi. Alpine Wellness, Crown Me Wellness Spa. Gosh, we have a lot of people today. Pretty Little Lines, Sante Aesthetics, and Wake Health. Yes, I love that. Right here in Raleigh with me. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I just want to challenge you to get in, develop those processes. Remember, it's going to be an investment. It's going to pay off not only with long-term employees, but with the growth and success of your med spa. We know that losing employees is detrimental, so we want to make sure that that is not happening and that we have lifelong employees if possible. We want to stay engaged, and we want to make sure that we're giving them everything they need to have a positive, successful work environment. So make sure you're auditing the process and making improvements. I promise you it's going to make a huge difference in your team's morale and the performance. All right, guys. If you love this training, make sure you share it with another med spa that could benefit. You could always catch the replay on our YouTube channel. To get access to more free trainings, we have a ton of free trainings on there that's going to help you and your med spa grow. You can also visit our link tree, our social bio. Be sure to join us live every Wednesday, 2:30 Central Time, same place. Find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Bye, guys.